All right, we are about to tackle one of the biggest questions you can possibly imagine. I'm talking about the very fabric of existence itself. We're going to explore this really fascinating idea, this idea that reality, everything we know, actually has a source. No, seriously, just pause and think about that for a second. If you could peel back every single layer of the universe, go past the galaxies, past the stars, all the way down past the atoms, what would you actually find at the very, very bottom? What is all this stuff made of? This isn't a new question, It's something people have been wrestling with forever. We usually think about reality in terms of, well, stuff, right? Matter and energy. But what if that's not the whole story? What if there's something even more fundamental underneath it all? What if everything we see, everything we experience, isn't actually the base layer, but just an expression of some single unified source? Okay, now listen to the language used to describe this idea, because it's really powerful. This is the infinite substrate, the everywhere field. See, this isn't just talking about physical space. It's pointing to something else, a fundamental medium from which everything, and I mean everything, comes from. So this big concept actually has a name. It's called SFOA, and that's an acronym for the Infinite Informational Awareness Field. Now, I know that sounds like a real mouthful. It sounds super complex, but just stick with me here, because once we start breaking it down, it paints this truly mind-bending picture of what reality might be. So let's do exactly that. The best way to get your head around a big idea like this is to just take it apart piece by piece. We're going to decode this name word by word to really get a feel for what this source field is all about. Okay, first up, infinite. Now, on one hand, this is pretty straightforward, right? But the implications are massive. It means this field has no edges, no beginning, no end. It's not in our universe is in it. Think about that. It's the ultimate boundless foundation for everything. Next, we have informational, and this part is absolutely crucial. The idea here is that this field isn't some empty void. It's actually made of information. You can kind of think of it like the raw data, or maybe the fundamental code for everything that could possibly exist. We're talking every law of physics, every particle, every single possibility, all packed in there as information. All right, and this is where it gets really, really interesting. The next word is awareness. So we're not just talking about passive information, like data sitting on a hard drive. The idea is that the field itself has a quality of awareness. It's not just a blueprint. The source material says it's a conscious blueprint. And finally, we've got the word field. This is the word that really ties it all together. Think of it like a magnetic field or a gravitational field. It's just everywhere, all at once. It permeates everything. It connects everything. Like the quote said, it's the everywhere field. There's literally no place that it isn't. Okay, so we've looked at all the pieces, right? Infinite informational awareness field. Now let's put that puzzle together and see how this actually creates the reality we experience. So basically, this SFOA thing plays three huge roles. First, it's the substrate. That's the literal ground floor of existence. Second, it's the source, the wellspring, the origin point where everything comes from. And third, it's the container, the all-encompassing space that holds reality itself. Here's a cool way to visualize it. Imagine it in 3 steps. Step 1, you've got this boundless, infinite canvas. That's the substrate. Step 2, that canvas gets filled with the paint, which is all the information and potential. And it has an artist. That's the awareness. And then step 3, from that interaction, reality as we know it just emerges. It's literally painted into existence. Okay, so what's the big takeaway here? Where does all this leave us? Let's boil this whole huge concept down to its absolute core idea. This is the crucial point right here. The whole idea is that the universe isn't just a random accident, a bunch of physical stuff that just happened. No. In this view, our reality is a manifestation, an emergence from this vast, aware, and information-rich field. It basically reframes reality, not as some giant machine, but almost as a kind of thought. And that brings us to the final question, and it's a really personal one. If the entire universe emerges from a field of awareness, and you are part of that universe, well, what does that make you? What does that say about your own awareness? It's definitely something to chew on. Thanks for digging into this with me.